And we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What's up, folks? How are y'all doing? Hope y'all having a great week so far. As y'all know, we ended off the ebook series last week. So, what does that mean? That means we starting a new series today. And today's going to be a little mini series and it ain't going to be near as long as the ebook that we did. This one's only going to be 4 episodes. And I thought about doing just one episode for this, but I wanted to break it down into 4 different episodes. That way we could go a little more deep into each topic. So I got 4 topics. And the title of this series, and you may have seen my post on Instagram that I made, or Facebook, wherever you follow me at. I made a post saying the 4 changes I made to create the mind and body I always dreamed of. So I made this post. If you hadn't seen it yet, go check it out. It's pinned on my Instagram account. It should be the first post you see. Instagram's at Murphy Mac Fit. So that's MurphyMC. So it's like McFit. There's no A in there. But yeah, y'all go check it out. I go over 4 little topics and we're going to dive a little more into each one of them on the podcast because I think this is a good topic to talk about. So y'all can see kind of what I did in my life to kind of set me up to have a better, more successful fitness journey and to be just more successful at everything I do in my life. So yeah, I think it'll help y'all. And it's gonna be a cool little mini series. The podcast episodes probably won't be as long as normal, but that's okay. We're gonna get it short, sexy, straight to the point. That's what we like. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the first topic. So, like I said, it's 4. Actually, I'll go ahead and go over all 4 of them. Number 1 is I changed my environment. Number 2 is I stopped playing the victim card. Number 3, failure equals a learning opportunity. So I changed the way I look at my failures. And number 4, I put myself in the room. So we're going to dive deep into those. We'll do one topic for the next 4 podcast episodes, and that's where we're going to go. So today we're going to talk about how I changed my environment and why I changed it. So first off, if you're going to change your environment, you need to recognize the impact of the environment, like the environment you're in now and the environment that you want to be in or the environment that you need to be in, you should be in. So your mindset, your habits, your goals, these are all going to be affected and influenced by your surroundings, by the situations that you're in, by the people that you hang out with, by your job, the relationship you're in. It's all going to have an effect. It may not have like a direct effect. It may not impact you directly, but it has some kind of secondary offhand effect in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So you need to recognize this and recognize how it's affecting you. It can create dissatisfaction, it can create lack of motivation, and it can create unhealthy habits. So just know that whether you believe it or not, whether you see it, you may not see it, your environment is impacting your decisions, your happiness, your content. Like it's affecting you more than you realize. Number 2, if you want to change your environment, you need to identify the need for change. So if you're in a good place, you're doing your thing, you're being successful, maybe you're already in the right place. Maybe you don't need to maybe you don't need to change. But if you're not, if you don't feel like you're living up to your potential, you need to identify this need for change. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably already identified that because you're listening to a fitness podcast. So obviously, if you listen to a fitness podcast, you're probably wanting to get healthier, to start working out, to start eating better. So you already identified that need. So identify what that need looks like for you, why you need to change it. And this is going to be a pivotal moment to realizing that change, it is necessary. You need to have that change in your life. So for me, this time kind of came like after college, after I graduated and came back home. I realized that I'm now a grown adult. Like I'm in real life now. I don't have time to do the things I did in high school or college, playing around, not taking things very serious. I didn't have a lot of responsibilities at that time. I was just going to school. So I was just doing my thing then. So there was nothing wrong with it at that time. But now that I've graduated, I got my own house. I'm married. I got real responsibilities now. So I realized, hey, I gotta really make a change. I gotta start being an adult, acting like an adult. Like I'm 100% dependent on myself now. I don't have my parents providing for me. So it's time to get real. Life, if you don't, life's going to smack you in the face. So you got to get it right. So that's why I realized that change was necessary. And I just realized I wasn't satisfied with where I was at, like financially, in my career, in my relationship. Like I wasn't where I was at. So I knew there needed to be something that changed. I knew I needed to get my life on track if I want to be successful, if I want to achieve all these goals that I have, if I want to do everything I have set out for myself in life. So I identified that change. And then number three, you want to create a vision for your transformation. So you want to create, like, what is your goal mind, your goal body? What does that goal look like for you? You want to create this. You want to get clarity, be specific in setting those goals. So for you, it may be a career goal. You may, hey, I want to be promoted to my boss's job or something. I don't know. I want to be a project manager by 2025, whatever that goal may be. It may be a weight loss goal. I want to lose 50 pounds by next year, whatever. Create that vision. Because without like a goal to aim toward, it's going to be a lot harder to stick to it. So number four, now that we've identified the need for change, we've created the goal, the vision. Now we need to make strategic environment changes. So you need to be very strategic about where you're hanging out, who you're hanging out with, the shows that you're watching, the music that you're listening to, the habits that you're doing on a daily basis. You got to start strategically planning these out and changing them if they're not helping you hit your goal. Like if you're doing a habit every day and it's not helping you achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve, you got to change it. You got to do something different. You got to take it out, swap it up. So, for example, if you want to get more healthy, but you don't have time after work to go work out or go to the gym, well, guess what? You got to start going in the mornings. You got to create that new habit. You got to wake up earlier, quit hitting the snooze button. You got to get up a little bit earlier, 30 minutes to an hour, whatever that may be, and you got to do something different. So not only your habits, but you want to change your physical environment. So you may have to, it may be as severe as moving to a new city. You may need to move. You may need to change your living space. You may need to just declutter your home. So your physical environment is going to have an impact on your mood. Like if you come home and your house is just cluttered, there's junk everywhere, there's dishes in the sink, like that's going to put you in a bad mood. You may not realize it, but it's going to have an effect. Just every little effect will have more of an impact than you realize. Next, you want to change your social environment. So, who are you hanging out with? Where are you hanging out at? If you want to lose some weight, well, the best place to hang out is probably not at the bar. You probably don't need to be at the bar because guess what? There's alcohol, empty calories. If you're drinking alcohol, you're probably eating some unhealthy foods. So, this is not going to help you get to your goals. Like, you're not going to be losing weight if you're hanging out at the bar. Like, I'm sorry, it is what it is. Like, I know you probably don't want to hear that. And yes, you can see results if you drinking. Like, I'm not saying alcohol is like the enemy. You can still drink and lose weight. It's possible, but it's probably not in your best interest. It's not going to help you at all. It's going to make your results even harder to get. Can it be done? Yes, absolutely. But it's going to be harder and it's going to take more time. So just think about what your goal is and how your environment is affecting it. So if you want to be a millionaire, well, hanging out with a bunch of homeless people is not going to help you be a millionaire. If you want to be a millionaire, you need to hang out with other millionaires. So you always hear the quote, you're an average of the 5 people that you hang around with most. And honestly, I see that that's pretty true. Like if you're hanging out with a bunch of alcoholics, you're probably going to be an alcoholic too. Or if you're hanging out with a bunch of successful people, you're probably going to be successful. If you're hanging out with a bunch of fit people, you're probably going to get fit because your environment is going to shape you. It's going to rub off on you. If you're hanging out with a bunch of people that's going to the gym every day, guess what you're going to start doing? You're going to start going to the gym. You're going to be there with them. You're going to work out and you'll get healthy. Like that's just it. If you're hanging out with people drinking alcohol every day, guess what? You're going to end up drinking alcohol with them. Again, I'm not bashing alcohol, but that's just an example of how your environment is impacting your decisions, your choices, and your habits. It all plays an effect. So just think about who you're hanging out with. And this was big for me. Like I had to change, like, I'm not nothing against the people I used to hang out with, but they were doing things that was not in alignment with my goals. So I knew that if I wanted to get fit, if I want to get put on some muscle, like drinking, going to the bar, staying up late at night, that wasn't doing me any good. Like it wasn't helping me get closer to my goal. So what did I do? I cut that out. I don't go to the bar. I don't drink alcohol. I quit hanging out with those people. Nothing, and it's not that I don't like them. I'm still friends with them to this day, but I can't put myself in those situations anymore if I want to achieve what it is I want to achieve. So you just got to change your environment because again, it has a more of an impact on what you do every day and you don't really realize it. So if you want to get fit, hang out with some fit people. That's my best advice for you. Because guess what? Guess what fit people are not doing? They're not going to Whataburger and eating fast food every day. They're probably eating healthier foods. They're working out. They're being more health conscious. They're getting more steps in throughout the day. They're doing things to work on their fitness. So if you want to see those same results they're getting, then maybe you should hang out with them and do what they do. It's pretty simple. And then after you do your social environment, you also want to change your digital environment. So with into 2024, it's the day of technology. As we all know, we all have phones in our pocket. So just be cautious of what you're watching online, what you're watching on social media, the content. Make sure it supports your goal. So if like honestly, social media can put you in a bad mood. It really can. Like there's a lot of negative stuff, negativity on social media, and it's not doing you any good. Like why get on social media and watch a bunch of negative stuff? It's not helping you. It's honestly gonna hurt. It's gonna put you in a worse mood than you were in before. So in the mornings, I had this rule. I do not get on my phone and check social media in the mornings at all until after my workout. Like because I don't want to watch something online and it just trigger me like that first thing in the morning. Because guess what? Now it's early in the morning and now I'm triggered and that's going to affect the rest of my day. So I don't do it. Like I don't get on social media. The only thing I will do is like if I'm at the gym, I will post a story on my social media, but that's about it. I don't scroll, I don't look through my timeline or anything like that because I know if I see something like I don't know, everything nowadays is about politics. So if you see something about politics, you may not like it, you may not agree with it, and then guess what? You in a bad mood for the rest of the day. So I cut that out. I don't do that no more. I don't scroll in the mornings. I used to be bad about scrolling on my phone when I got up first thing in the morning. Like before I ever even got out to bed, I would pick my phone up and I would start scrolling social media. And I realized this was having an effect on me and my mood. Like, cause I would get triggered. I'll see something I didn't agree with, and then boom, first thing in the morning, I'm not in a happy place. Like I'm not in a good mood, and that's gonna affect the rest of my day. So honestly, cutting that out has been enormous for me. Like it's plays a bigger role than you realize. So if you're following a bunch of negative people or things making negative comments, unfollow them. Don't follow them no more. It's pretty simple. Like I don't like any drama. If you got drama on my social media, unfollowing you, deleting you, whatever, blocking you if I have to. Like I don't want that. I don't want that in my head. I don't want to see that. I don't want to be involved with it because it's not doing me any good. There's no need to have a bunch of negativity in your life. Like it's not doing you any good. So just unfollow them. That's the simplest thing I can tell you to do. Next, after we do all that, after you change your environment, you strategically set up your environment to put you in the most beneficial or what's the word? Put you in the best place for success. You want to embrace positive habits. So change your environment and then start embracing these habits. So like I said, if you're hanging out with fit people, they're going to be working out, they're going to be eating healthier. So you got to start embracing these habits. And I know it's hard to change habits, but you just gotta do it. I know it's gonna suck. It's not gonna be fun. But if you can just get consistent with it and make it a habit, it comes so much easier. Like starting a new routine, it's exciting at first because you know you're getting better. You're doing something to work on your goals. So it's easy at first, but it's gonna get hard. Like you're gonna want to quit doing it. It's not always gonna be fun. You're gonna be tired of it. You'll be like, why'd I ever start this? So you just gotta push through. Like if you can just push through that little hard time, I promise you, you're gonna come out on top. So you got to embrace these positive habits. I mean, it just comes down to two things: consistency and discipline. That's all it is. Two things. If you can be consistent and you can be, oh, oops, I didn't mean to do that. And you can be disciplined, you can create these habits. I know you can because I've done it several times. When I did the Ironman, I had to completely change my routine up, my habits, and I did that for almost a year. Now it's completely changed. Now I'm doing a bodybuilding show. I've completely changed my routine again. I've completely changed my diet. So it's you get in that rhythm of doing the same thing over and over again, and it just makes it easy. So when you have to change that and swap it, it makes it a lot harder. But you got to push through, and it will help you. So then, after we embrace these positive habits, you want to overcome the challenges or the setbacks, because it's going to happen. Like you're going to plateau, you're going to get tired, you're not going to be motivated. So when you get unmotivated, it comes back to that discipline. You got to be disciplined. Change is not always going to be linear. It's going to be what I like to call like a roller coaster. It's going to be up, it's going to be down, it's going to be up, it's going to be down. So you just got to know this. Just understand this going in. When you on that day that you're feeling down, you're feeling unmotivated, you're tired, you didn't get a good sleep, just know that you got to push through, and you will come back up top eventually. So they're going to happen. Setbacks are inevitable. They're going to happen. So you just got to do it. I'm not motivated to go to the gym every day, but guess what? I still get up and go because it's discipline. And if I can't go for some reason, I'll go that afternoon or I'll make it up the next day. It's just part of it. You gotta be disciplined. And then after you do all that, when you start getting your life back on track, changing your environment, you want to celebrate the progress, celebrate the success. So reflect on those milestones from the results that you've gotten. Because once you start developing these new habits, once you start changing your environment, you will start to see like little wins, little victories. So reflect on that, acknowledge it, celebrate it for a little bit, not too long, just celebrate it for a little bit, and then keep building on that. Keep stacking those habits. Keep winning each and every day, and then express gratitude because it's a journey. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be a good day. It's going to be a bad day here and there. So just embrace that journey, um, and it all be worth it. Like it's going to be worth it in the end. So, with that being said, some key takeaways: your environment plays a crucial role in shaping your mindset and behavior. So, your environment comes down to your physical environment, so like your house, your workplace, whatever you're physically in, your social environment, so like who you're hanging out with, who you're spending time with, where you're spending your time at, things like that. And then lastly, your digital environment. So what you're watching on social media, what you're watching on TV, what you're watching on Netflix, what are you reading? What are you listening to? Your podcast, your music. So change that. If you listen to any negative stuff, or if you're listening to things that's not providing you any value or it's not helping you get to that goal, then quit listening to it. You're wasting your time. Like if you want to start eating healthier, maybe you should start listening or watching some YouTube videos on nutrition or something like that. I don't know. Or if you want to watch Netflix, watch The Biggest Loser or something. Watch how they work out and lose some weight. I don't know. Something like that. So if you make deliberate changes to your surroundings, this can lead to a profound personal transformation. And it has in my life for sure. So, I mean, if we're being honest, I really don't hang out with anybody anymore. I get up, I work out, I go to work, I come home, and I make content. It's pretty much all I do. On the weekends, I get out and I play some disc golf every now and then I do things with my family. It's pretty much all I do because in my spare time, I'm working on things that I need to be working on my goals and things like that. I'm not just out doing who knows what, going to the bars, staying up late at night. Like I don't do that no more. I'm grown. I got bills to pay. So I ain't got time for that. Nothing against you if you do that, but just know if you are doing those things, you're gonna stay right where you're at. Like you're never gonna change. You're never gonna achieve those like dreams and aspirations that you have if you keep doing the same thing. You can't do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. You're gonna get the same results if you're doing the same thing. If you want different results, you gotta change it up. Like period. That's just how it works. Like if you want to lose weight, but you eat McDonald's every other day, guess what? You're not gonna lose weight. So you gotta change it up. You gotta quit eating McDonald's. It's simple as that. It's not difficult. You just gotta create these habits to overcome those obstacles. Yeah, you may get in a habit of going and getting fast food every day for lunch. Well, if you really want to make an impact, if you want to make a change, guess what? You better start meal prepping your foods and eating that for lunch instead of going out and getting fast food for lunch. So I challenge you. Test your own environment. It says who your friends are, who you hanging out with, what you doing on the weekends, where you hanging out at, and ask yourself, do all these things help me in some way? Do they provide value to hitting my goal, whatever that is? I'll just use fitness for example because it's a fitness podcast. If your goal is to lose weight, because that's the most common, well, ask yourself, what are you doing on the weekends? What do you like? Who you hanging out with? Your environment. How is it impacting your fitness journey? If it's if it's impacting you in a good way, hey, then keep doing that because you're gonna get there. I mean, it's gonna help you. But if it's not, then guess what? You got to change something up. Just consider the changes that you need to make to support your goals, to support your aspirations. So if you one start unfollowing all the negative accounts you follow online. I know you probably never even thought about it putting you in a bad mood or having an effect on your mood, but it really does. So like all the news accounts, like I don't follow that junk. I don't want to watch no news because it's just gonna tick me off. So I don't watch it because I don't want to I don't want to waste my mental bandwidth on thinking about some stuff that is negative and it really honestly has no effect on me, like personally. I mean, yeah, it may affect like the government or something. I don't know. But does that really affect like me, my day to day stuff? I mean, yeah, some things will, but for the most part, not for real. Like it don't do nothing for you. So assess your digital environment, your social environment, and your physical environment. Right. What I gotta tell you one thing before we go. Speaking of physical environment, if you ain't making your bed in the morning, you're messing up. First thing in the morning. Like freaking make your bed. I know it really has no impact. Like making your bed does nothing. Like honestly, it don't do anything because you're the only person seeing your bed. You and maybe your spouse. And I know you may be thinking, like, why even make it? It makes no point. We're gonna get back in it tonight. Well, that's beside the point. The point of making your bed is to mark off a win first thing in the morning. Check, mark the box. You just won. And the reason you want to do this is because it sets you up for the rest of the day. Like if you check a box, if you get a win first thing in the morning, that's going to impact the rest of your day. Like you're gonna be able to stack that win on top of another win on top of another win, and it's gonna get you in that winning mindset. I know it's like it's a little thing, and it really don't hold much weight. Like it's making your bed is not really gonna affect your day, but it'll get you going. Like it'll get that mindset, get your that winning mindset going. Because like, hey, you say you marked the box, you made your bed. Well, guess what? Next thing, you go to the gym. You go to the gym, boom, you mark that box off. Then you go to work. You go to work, you knock out an hour of uninterrupted work. Boom, that's another one. And then you just win it. You're just stacking these wins on top, and it plays a bigger role than you realize. Another one, waking up on your alarm. Quit snoozing your alarm. Honestly, I'll be honest, I do it sometimes too. I ain't gonna lie. This is one I've really been working on lately. Is waking up on my first alarm. I'm bad about turning my alarm off and waiting for the next one to come on. Like this is something I really been fighting internally. I've been doing better. I'm getting better. I really am. But yeah, if you say you're going to get up on your first alarm, like if your alarm was off 5 a.m., by golly, you better get up at 5 a.m. Because guess what? As soon as you hit that snooze button, you're lying to yourself because you told yourself you was going to get up at 5 a.m. But guess what? You hit the snooze button and you didn't wake up at 5 a.m. So there, you just started your day off with a loss. You just lost first thing in the morning. I don't think anybody wants to lose, especially not first thing in the morning, because guess what? Then you're gonna be losing for the rest of the day because you lost the very first thing in the morning. So get up on your first alarm, boom, check that off the list. Make your bed, check that off, and then look, that's 2 wins first thing in the morning, and then you're set up, you're good to go for the rest of the day. I know it's kind of such a simple thing, and it don't really, like I said, it don't hold much weight. It's just making your bed. It's not that big a deal, but it's like the mental benefits that you get from it. Like you get that mental stimulation from knowing, yeah, I got up and I did that, and now I'm ready to go for the day. It's gonna roll over in every other thing you do throughout your day. So yeah, if you ain't making your bed, get up in the morning and make your bed. It's not long. It takes you like 30 seconds to a minute to make your bed. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. That was part one of the 4 changes I made to create the mind and body I always dreamed of. If you haven't checked out my post yet, check it out on my Instagram. It's pinned. It should be the first post you see. And I write it. You can scroll through the little pictures and see, and then also look at the caption. But that's what we're gonna go over the next few episodes. Episode or part 2 will be how I stopped playing the victim card. And that's what we're gonna dive into next week. So until then, I hope you have a great week. Be careful if you're driving in the car. Put your seatbelt on. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Peace, love, protein. We out.